Hi, it's me, Silver the Whack. There was a bit of a pause there, and that's because right off the bat, this might get long. But right now I'm not feeling very well. I will carefully do this. Put this right there. I might put my little coffee right here. Because my back is kind of aching. Yeah, how's it going? It's Saturday in the afternoon. I've already had coffee today, but it was that mix with cereal, like the one with, I think it's called chicory or whatever the hell. And it has other things, but it's not very strong. This is like just coffee. It's at the perfect temperature to be drank. So I'll drink it as I talk and hope that it doesn't get cold like it usually does, because I keep yapping and forget that I have it in my hands. But since it's the afternoon, I probably won't trail off as easily. Yeah. So I think I will use the picture that I took on the thumbnail, which is of this object, right? But there's one difference between that picture and this object. That picture has this on top of it, and this object no longer does, which should be obvious. And that's because I was very upset about how this turned out, because this was supposed to be the size of this thing, right? This is a kiss clasp, I think it's called. And when I started out, it was the right size, but eventually something happened. I must have started increasing at some point, and it became huge, and I tried to like decrease, but it still didn't quite work out. So I was upset about that, and as happens when I'm upset, I just cut the kiss clasp out of it, and yeah, I was left with this. And what did I do? I fixed the border and made a drawstring little bag. Don't know exactly what I'll use it for, but yeah, it's a bag. It's something. It's wonky, to say the very least. Like, it's wonky. I like the colorway. I like the colorway, so I'll keep it. The other thing that I made was this. It's sunglasses, or glasses in general, case. Or could be a phone case. I mean, I think my phone fits inside this. Let me check. I didn't really check, but I suppose it does fit because the size seems right. Yep. It could be a phone pouch. But I don't want to do that. I want it to be just a bag. The colorway was actually a skein that I got that was a gradient of these colors, and these colors actually mean something to me because they are the colors used to represent like the broader asexuality spectrum, right? So in case it's unclear, asexuality isn't just not having interest in intimacy, that kind of intimacy. It also comprises aromanticism and demisexuality and stuff like that. For the longest time I thought that demisexuality was just the norm, because to me it didn't make sense to connect with people you didn't really trust or had a long-term connection with. But apparently that's not the case. So I remember that when I found out about this made sense to me, and I identified with it, but I thought that it would only apply to asexuality in itself. So after a while I was like, maybe this isn't quite right for me. But then I found out that the umbrella covered more labels. I'm not a huge fan of labels. I'm just a person. I was diagnosed with autism and ADHD, for which I take medication. I have trauma issues and all the things that come with that, so like complex trauma issues. But regarding the other things, I'm like, the intersexuality was also diagnosed, quote unquote, because I was different, quote unquote, again, from other people with my assigned gender, right? So they run several tests, and it was found out pretty quickly that I had an intersex condition of some descript, because the hormones come from many places, and there is no one way to make me fit into the gender that I was assigned, which isn't even the gender I identify with. So I like to think of myself as just someone who exists, not fluid, not non-binary, just someone who exists, and that's already something. Because my existence was always kind of either erased or mocked, and I don't know why this is making me feel some kind of way. But the thing with my poor perception of myself, and people calling me ugly and all those things, and pointing out the problems that come with being intersex, such as the alopecia. And don't worry, I don't worry, who's worrying? But I have tried some ways to make my hair grow back, like at least some of it, but with minoxidil. But I don't always have the money for that, especially with the medication that I take. So that's kind of a side thing. And when I can get some of that, I do. When I can't, I can't. You know. And the thing about that is that I was using it, and I was letting my brother use it as well, because he's experiencing balding as well, and he's too young for that. But with this spray, it really can be stopped, and the hair can grow back. And the sooner it's tackled, the better. Right. Of course, you can always have like hair transplants and stuff like that, but that requires money and a long recovery time. So yeah, that's not really an option for the time being. It's really just the minoxidil, which we'll eventually get. For now, that's off the table, since a lot of money was spent already on that washing machine, which obviously was not bought up front, like it was spread out in parcels. And yeah, I also have my tuition to pay, and I don't know how the fuck I'm going to do that. Speaking of which, let me pause this for a second. Alright, yeah, that was a waste of time. Because the flaky professor sent me an email saying that she'd read and commented the project that I had sent her, but I didn't get any file. Did she forget? Am I supposed to just... Alright, I just sent an email and I just checked the deadline to apply for this scholarship thing that I will probably not get. Like, the chances are never zero, as my brother says, but yeah, they're pretty much zero. Like, come on. This is actually a new coffee, and this is not me trailing off. This is me purposefully changing the subject so that I don't get upset. It's really good. It's another coffee that I got at a discount. My luxuries coffee. But yeah, I mean, it's a luxury. When you think about it, it kind of is, isn't it? Yeah. So anyway, about the Kiss Class money post situation, I started doing another one following a different tutorial. And yeah, let's just say that I don't think I'm doing it right again. I think I may have increased again, because this person was doing like this stitch that I've never tried before, called the basket stitch, and it looked really pretty, so I decided to give it a whirl, you know, as one does. But this is when I realized that I'm just a beginner going into intermediate level, because the person's thing is curling up like nicely and going right into the you know, the base. The base is the thing you should follow, and that you should be mindful of, because the base is the size of the open clasp. And I can demonstrate it right now. See? Yeah. But if this thing around is not, then we have a problem. And I really didn't want to frog the whole thing again and see where I went wrong. I mean, I wanted to use this pretty stitch. I'll keep going, and if by the end of it I feel like it won't fit, and the same thing happens again, I just frog the whole thing, and yeah, won't be the first time, won't be the last. That's one thing that we'll learn as we go. Yeah. About this week. So yeah, I did come here on Thursday. Yes, I did. I told a story. I have a story for today as well. I prefer to do that at the end, because I think it's a good way to wrap it up on a more light-hearted note, since these are vlogs, you know, not to keep anyone hooked, because like I'm extremely boring and I won't change that. Maybe sometimes I'll do whack things. Oh, unexpected things. That's what whack means in this context, like a bit goofy, a bit silly things. Always self-conscious. Otherwise I would not have this name on this channel. But gosh, let me pause. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this week was not very pleasant, as it happens when I have to go to those meetings. But yeah, we made it through another week. Well done to you and me. And homie, I promise that I will call. I know that you're not like forcing me to do it, but I want to do it. I just have not feeling. I've not been feeling very well, and I know that's no excuse, but yeah, let's get this let's get the breathe up so that I don't forget that we have breathing exercises in this little chill environment. Right. But yeah, I also got, just before we start, since yeah, it's not really a tangent, it's just getting that out of the way before proceeding. I got some beads, like they're very cheap. But I wanted to have some cheap beads so that I can make more of those fidget toys. I particularly like these. Ironically, they are the ones I will have the most trouble threading anything through because the holes are very small, but they're very pretty. And I think I will make yet another one of the all fidget thingies to hang from my phone using these beads, and probably one of the milk cotton yarns because that's very soft. I just don't know exactly how I'm going to thread the beads. Maybe I could just thread the beads with a regular needle and then use the yarn, the cotton yarn, that way, because like you don't necessarily have to when you make these like these things. I've made a couple now. And when you make these, like, you start from the middle, obviously. So when you thread that, you can just snip off the middle, and just tie the yarn that you want to use to the thing, and work from there. So I may do that. It's probably the easiest way, the least frustrating way, and yeah. Anyway, let's do. Okay, this is one that I tried yesterday. It's for deep relaxation, okay? And I did one that I followed the counter, the timer on another video here on YouTube. So if you want to do that, you can, obviously. Why am I to tell you what you should and shouldn't do? Just don't kill people. Just don't harm anyone. Don't harm yourself. Just be good. Okay? But this one was for deep relaxation, and the video that I found was 10 minutes. This one is shorter than that. It is probably 1 minute, give or take. I didn't try it because I added it to the custom ones. And this app, I am obviously not being sponsored. Like I was talking about the new blend of coffee. It's by a brand called Delta. I think it's a Portuguese brand, so yeah, you probably can't get it unless you're also in Portugal. But it's a blend of several things, several Arabicas or whatever the hell they're called, and it's really nice. It's soft, and it has flavor to it. It's like, yeah, Delta is one of the main brands in this country, and some of the products are not very good. But this blend, this, I think it's called cup blend, something like that, because it's made in pots, only pots, like the one that's like a whole machine with a glass thing. You can make it in the mocha pot, and I'm not entirely sure, but from the looks of it, you can also like do it the regular way. The regular way meaning just boil some water and pour it over the ground coffee beans. But I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to look it up. I could do that. I could do that right now. I will do that right now, since this is getting long and it's like a live where I'm just talking to myself and doing whatever I want without being interrupted. Though I may do lives eventually. Okay. I've done them in the past. Usually it's just me, myself and I, and my little plushies. Maybe that's why people think that I'm younger, because I'm all surrounded by plushies, but it's because I'm an autistic adult, and these things bring me comfort. It's not like I think that they're alive or anything, it's just they bring me comfort. I also got the all eyebrows fixed. Do I look younger? Do I look older? I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, but whatever. I just look weird. That's what I look. What was I going to look for? Delta this one. Yeah, this one. Okay, so if you're abroad, you can technically get this exact thing. Where is this? Where is this? Where is this? Where is this? I think this they ship abroad. Again, I'm not promoting this because like some of their products are really not good. Like the coffee that I have in the mornings, sometimes the one with the cereal, is actually from Lidl. And for anyone who's watching this and is not from Europe, this will probably sound like I'm saying because maybe Lidl isn't a thing where you are, but Lidl is a supermarket chain that originated in Germany, if I'm not mistaken. Germany. Did I say German? Germany, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. And they're all over Europe, and they have their own brands of things. Usually, these brands, they have a set of brands, okay? But these products, some of them are just copies of name brands, okay? But here's the thing. These copies are very good quality. For example, they're copies of the brand Oreo. They're called Neo. In my personal opinion, are better than Oreos because they're not as strong, if that makes sense. They're not as the chocolate is sweet, everything is sweet, but it doesn't have that Oreo thing. I mean, Oreos are good, don't get me wrong, but this brand is just especially the Oreo dupes are very good. But yeah, this is the coffee. It says that it's meant for machines. But when you look at the package, it has the drawings of that. Yeah, it's a machine, of course. The one with the little thing that you pull out, and the mocha pot, and then there's the one that's just the kettle, the electric kettle. So I don't exactly know if you can use it that way. Let's see. Oh, this is the beans. No. Okay, yeah, I don't mind the cookies. Okay, come on. Ah! Hey! It just says what it says in the package. Like, come on, man! Good golly, Miss Molly, why the hell is this one so expensive? Oh, it's 1 kilogram. Okay, that okay. I get it. But that's the grain description. Additional information. Okay, it doesn't say. What does cup version mean? Let me pause because this is getting long and I'm just looking at my phone and we haven't even done the breathing exercise and I really need that. Right. It seems like you could, but the consensus seems to be that you should use one of those pull-out machines or a mocha pot. But yeah, let's do the breathing exercise before I tell the story and leave you alone. Okay, so as usual, it's hold, exhale. Okay, this one is the 4-7-8. Okay, so exhale for inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. This might seem simple, but really when you're exhaling you should do it slowly. That's my advice. Okay, let's go. Relax and get comfortable. Focus on your breathing. That's done. Was it good? I hope so, because I needed that. And if you did too, I hope that whatever is bothering you right now stops bothering you soon. Okay. Another thing that I kinda wanted to add to this vlog was that the reason why I don't want like this to get a lot of attention, and the reason why I just tag when I happen to make a tutorial for something, which isn't very often, obviously, because I'm clearly a beginner. Or like when I upload the shorts, and you know, don't think it will upset anyone. I tag it, but I really don't want to become like a trending topic, whatever the hell, like, because yeah, the trending page is full of commentary and stuff, and usually that's full of people like making fun of others. I didn't want to put it that way, but to me that's what it feels like. And I'm not saying that it's not important to bring awareness to issues, as I've said before, but yeah, a lot of it seems a bit much, I think. And I'm someone who has experienced a lot of, you know, being what the kids like to call a lol cow growing up, because I was different, like, I'm not like other people, no, not like that. I was strange, I was always an outcast, right? Because with my strange appearance and hand-me-downs, you know, yeah, I was always an outcast, and all my friends, the people who gravitated towards me, were also outcasts, and I'm thankful for all of them, because all of them, save for the one that was a weird ass narcissist who preyed on outcasts to get what she wanted, like to have someone to push around. She wasn't an outcast. She was just took advantage of outcasts basically. I'm not saying I'm a victim, no matter what people might say about me. I don't really have that kind of victim mentality. Things don't happen to me because of others. A lot of the time things happen to me because of me, because of my actions, because of what I did. And I never claimed it was other people's fault. Save for like my living situation and the whole trauma thing. That was out of my control. In my formative years, like that was not really something that I could do much about. And that's one good thing that came out of my terrible therapy experiences. Please don't do that. Come on. What the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? There we go. You're not supposed to do that. There we go. Okay. And yeah, sometimes I put those videos playing in the background and I see how some of those people started as like random vloggers and then spiraled. I don't want to be that. Like if I feel like I'm turning into that, I'll just stop. Because I not monetized, I not doing anything particularly shocking that would warrant virality or whatever. And I don't want the commentary YouTube, as they call themselves, community to come for me and call me aesthetically challenged. Which, yes, I know I am. So nobody has to say that to me. And I'm not angry or bitter about that and my being in the ROA spectrum, thing has nothing to do with that, because while I never really had a relationship, I have had situationships, right? Casual things, nothing bad or like traumatizing in any way. Like it was always just casual stuff. But after some time I realized that I really couldn't be in a relationship with someone I didn't know for like at the very least 1 year. So yeah, I've kind of come to accept that it's likely that I'll never actually have a relationship, because I don't see myself in one. and I've never had examples of good ones. Like, I see them in media and I know the theory of what makes a good relationship, but yeah, I'm just too messed up to even think of pursuing something like that, if that makes sense. I would have to go to therapy first for a long time and battle my demons. And in a way defeat them, or at least put them in under control, which doesn't seem like something that will happen in the near future. Like, my next therapy appointment is next month, and it'll be with someone new. I don't know if it'll be good or bad, but yeah, it is what it is. It's not really something that upsets me per se. Like, what upsets me is the way people react to it, because it's unusual, right? It's unusual. So, yeah. And I'm like, why is it unusual? Why should it be unusual? What's wrong with it? I'm not harming anyone. I don't feel bad about it. The only thing that's making me feel bad is the way you're judging it and making me feel bad about it and telling me that I should feel bad about it, when I know I shouldn't, and that there's nothing wrong with it. So yeah, I have a story that I will read to you now before I tune out and return tomorrow. Okay, so this one is called On Misery. It's a strange tale. And I remember some of the rhymes. I put this in old-timey speak because I remember that my grandma used like the old-timey speak when she told this story. And it's a story about misery, like how misery will always follow humans. I think it's accidentally a good tale for today. Okay, so I translated it. Okay. This story is called On Misery. There was once upon a time a very old lady, pruned as a raisin, wore only tattered clothing, and was always deeply troubled with something. It felt like she had been born with the world when the world was born, you see. She lived in a cabin made of dry stones, covered with a thatched roof and twigs. Her only belongings were the pears on the tree she had in front of her door, which were always being taken by the boys in the village. One time, a traveller stopped by the door and asked her if he could stay there for the night. Aunt Misery gave him her own blanket and the last morsel of dry bread she had, so that he could have something. When dawn broke, the traveller said his goodbyes to Aunt Misery and told her that she could ask for anything she wanted, whenever she wanted, and every wish she had would be granted. She then asked for very little. I ask for but one thing. Ask away, dear aunt. I ask that anyone who climbs my pear tree cannot come back down without my permission. Your wish shall come true. Since the boys didn't know what had happened, they soon found out the hard way about Aunt Misery's wonderful new gift. they wept, begging Aunt Misery to let them get down from the pear tree. The hard lesson was good enough for them, see, for the pears started staying in the pear tree and weren't stolen again. And this went on. When Aunt Misery got another visitor, one with a scary look was jittery and gloomy, and so Aunt Misery had to ask, "What dost thou want?" "I am Death. I have come to take thee with me. So suddenly, allow me yet another little year." "That cannot be." "Well then, allow me to at least have one last bite of one of my pears which has been forgotten up there." "It shall be granted. I ask of thee to please do me the great favour of climbing the tree for me." And so Death climbed the tree, but the old woman, thanks to the gift she had, said at last, "Now thou shalt stay there until I allow thee to climb down." What happened then was that for a long time there were no deaths. The priests, the doctors, and the pharmacists were all miserable in their professions. Death had to bargain with Aunt Misery to let her climb down, saying that her life would be spared. And so it was. Because you see, misery, as long as the world is the world, and people are people, will always exist. The end. This is one of those, isn't it? It's one of those, like, that's just, wow. I remember when I heard it, it was very strange, and I kept asking who the traveller was, and my grandma didn't know, obviously, but, you know, with folk tales and stuff like that, there's always like this, not always, but there's sometimes this magical being who grants wishes, and, you know, that moves the plot of the story along. Yeah, it's a story about how misery will never leave. And yeah, misery tricked death. It's a strange tale, isn't it? But it's a folk tale. Folk tales sometimes are very strange. But it's, you know, one of those tales that teaches kids that misery is part of life. And that death needs misery. So death was tricked by misery and then had to bargain with misery to be let down and do its work. Yeah. That's it. That's all for now. Thank you for still being here. Thank you for your comments and for putting up with me and my strange behaviour and my face and yeah, whatever the hell this is. I hope that the vibes are still decent. I really hope not to become mocked online, because I've experienced that on a different context, like fandom context. Yeah, because of my behavior, obviously. Like I got angry and yeah. Obviously the people don't like that, and that's grounds for mockery, because they want more reactions from you if you like that. So these days I just don't do that anymore. and when I have to do that, I just log out, do that away from cameras, or like social media or wherever the hell, and then return when I'm calm again. Because people want to see that, want to see the spectacle. It's a very strange culture we're going through, isn't it? And when I'm listening to those commentary videos, I'm like, this isn't right. Because sometimes it's clear that something is wrong with the person that's being mocked, and I don't have any other words for it. The person is being mocked. Even when there's nuance and stuff, like when there's nuance, I'm like, okay, fine. Okay, you're just commenting on it respectfully. But a lot of the times it's just mockery, and it feels a lot like gossip in the playground, and it feels like bullying for the sake of bullying, because bullying is fun to these people, at least. Like, to me, it's just no. I'm not claiming to be better than anyone, but as someone who was at the receiving end of that, for reasons out of my control, I don't find it very funny. I find it upsetting. Yeah. But that's it. And that's enough. You know, misery came with the world and humanity, didn't it? But I hope that you're well. Hopefully tomorrow I'll come back and have a better mood to show. But for now, this is it. And this is way more than enough. This is almost 1 hour long. I am so sorry. I was gonna listen to all of this, except for me to check for any issues. Yeah, probably nobody, but that's fine. It really is. But I will be back. It's a threat. Bye bye.